So now we have to think about what is going to make it look more like we're on a farm. Now we know from some of the art we've made this year, like if I take a square and I put it with a triangle, a lot of us think that's a house. Well, farms have houses on them, but the thing that makes us know it's a farm is that there's a barn on it. So that would look more like a shape like this. This one is called a hexagon. So if we look at what a hexagon has, we're going to count the sides of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you guys out loud count the corners. So that's why it is a hexagon. And a shape like this, to me, looks a lot more like a barn. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to draw this as two separate shapes that we already know. So we're going to draw our square, but we're going to draw a trapezoid on top of it for the roof instead of a triangle. So I'm going to choose a color that I think would be a good barn color. So let's say I go with this sort of reddish purple color here. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw using the tip of the crayon. So I want it to look like there's space in front of the barn and space around behind the barn. So the way I'm going to create that effect is I'm going to overlap the first shape, the square, onto the top space and the bottom space. So it covers up a little bit of both. And if you notice, I'm not drawing it super big. I want to leave room for other things. You guys are going to have a whole list of things to go on this farm. Then I need to draw the trapezoid shape. So when I look at a trapezoid shape, it's almost like a triangle, but it has 4 sides, not 3. So I can actually use the top of my square as one of those 4 sides. So I'm going to lean this way, so that gives me 1, 2 sides. And I'm going to lean this way, that gives me 3 sides, but I can't just leave it like that. So then I'm going to top off the roof here. Now I don't want people to think that I'm just now building the barn. I want them to know that it's complete. It's ready for farm equipment, it's ready for animals, all kinds of things. So I'm going to go ahead and color it in. So I'm using the tip of the crayon here because I actually want to go a little bit darker. If you notice, I'm not just covering up the white space by coloring it, I'm covering up the ground behind it. So that ground behind it, this barn should be in front of that ground. It's overlapping it, so we can't see behind it. So this will make it look more like the way a barn would take up space on a real farm. The way I've placed it is I have room that is in front of the barn and I have room that's around behind the barn. So this will give me a big space to have my farm. All right, so you're gonna get to this point and then we'll think, well, what else could we do to the barn and what else has to go on the farm?